I've seen it
Good evening, how are you guys? Good, you? Oh my gosh, oh! I better call it out, thank you for, hey, I got a job for you, you ready? It's way simple. Okay, but it is kind of important. Are you ready? You can either do this from the booth, like climb in, or not. No, I'll show you, come here, I'll show you, it's way simple. No, it's even easier. Well, okay, actually, yes, you do have to hit a button. You ready? This?
Yeah.
Slide up.
Yeah.
Ta-da! That's it.
That's all I gotta do.
Okay. Oh no, wait. With the house lights, to turn the house lights off, you just hit this off down here. That's it. It's the bottom, so there's 2 rows. The bottom one on the inside.
Yeah, when do I have to do that?
When you do this. So like a couple minutes before 7 o'clock. Zoop. Zoop.
So I can turn them all
At
both
7:57.
Oh.
Yeah, watch. Here, if you turn this on and then hit this off, this just turns the house lights off.
Got it.
Make sense?
Okay, I guess.
If you do it wrong.
What?
Yeah, just watch out for that cord. Because also we're live streaming right now. Hey YouTube, how you doing everybody?
Just watching off too.
Yeah, exactly. If you hit the wrong button, they'll be, oh! 'Cause then they'll be like, this is rated E for everyone. I just heard a boom right there. Yep. You can even push it if you want.
And I hit it again, turn it back on.
Nope, you gotta hit the second button, the one that was lit up before.
That one?
I don't know, is that the second button down?
I don't know.
Well, you start at the top and go down. 1, 2.
Why is it?
Oh, maybe I pushed the wrong row actually. So you'll see like, there's a slider here, right inside, row 2, turns it back on. Otherwise it gets like 100 degrees on stage.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe! Oh, there's a cord there.
Watching out for.
Be careful. Woo. Hey, at least you know what, unplugged instead of taking the zoomer down or whatever. So for that reason, just a couple minutes before 8.
8?
7, whatever. Hey, are you staying for the whole thing? You can stay for the either? Oh my gosh, you can do it for the other one too.
No, I think Sean can do it.
Hey, if you want, you could sit there.
I think Sean can do it.
Kiefer? Yeah, you can get in on it.
No, McKenna's in the blues grade. No, that's Dragon.
Yeah.
So I'm sure when they get to high school,
What? Fine, bro.
you will have to be careful.
Did that hurt?
Why did you bring the book?
I wasn't sure if I was going to read it.
I don't think you can really. He actually, was it Friday night?
And I had bracelet book tasting. I am him. She didn't make one. I made one for myself.
I don't know what happened.
Who are all the main that this year?
Your hands are cold. Your hands are cold.
Yeah. Fix that
Your
wire.
hands are cold.
Go now. Watch out for cords.
Shut up. There you go.
Now can I take the No, I know.
There you go. Get a smile.
They turn all the lights off. Turn all the lights off. I mean, it's a big. It's a big Wait, which one to do first? Like that? I don't know how to do that.
So like people right now, people sit down. That's the stage lights.
Well, which one do I turn?
These ones.
I don't want to do that.
You gotta turn these down. Do you know how to turn these?
I thought you were going to see.
I can turn them off.
On or off? I'm saying this. Do they have a
I don't think so. I really don't want to find it out.
little down?
Now I'm going to trip over this railing and that cord to get out of here.
Jump forward.
Thank you so much for coming tonight. I'm really excited that we're able to play in the auditorium and for a live audience. It's pretty exciting, even though, not quite normal, but, we're making it work. So you see the 6th, 7th grade in front of you. I almost called them wrong name. They were even kids like betting. The 5th grade, I call them 5th grade by mistake. This is the 7th grade in front of you, and they've been rehearsing on their own. Typically, our 7th and 8th grade combined. So it's been a little weird because it has to kind of accelerate their growth. but they have grown tremendously this year, and I really hope that you will hear that too compared to our concert in November. The first song we're going to play for you is just a traditional march. It's called Guardians of Liberty. Our next piece kind of has a little Western flair. It's called Cedar Canyon Roundup. And for a while, it was like, the kids were like, we can't do this. And I tell them, every time we start doing music, you get like this whole chorus of like boos and like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna get this. And usually kids are like, are you crazy? Which I think is a funny question because like they've known me for 3 years. So they clearly know that I'm crazy. But like, why do they still ask it all the time? Are you crazy? You think we can do this? Yes. The next two pieces are proof that I am crazy and I do think that they can do this. It's been a ton of fun learning, and I apologize to the students in front of you. I want you to know that yes, sometimes I do dance in front of them, and I'm not a good dancer. But I was like, I can't help it. Like, I got really excited. They played the part right, and so then the whole rest of the time I was like, yeah, to the music. And then they fell apart. I was like, what happened? They were like, you're ridiculous. So yeah, they'll tell you about it. It's like pretty terrible. They have asked specifically, like, please never do that again. So anyway, I hope that you enjoy Cedar Canyon Roundup.
Thank you.
I mean, I really like, there's like just a really nice one. It's just flute playing, so pretty. And there's parts, I mean, I love like you probably have a little flute, you know, you see their faces and everything. But when we're in the middle of a performance and like somebody nails something, like that's like when I normally want to like do a little dance, like, yes, you nailed it. So I gotta like be really quiet, like do these like way to go that you can't see, but there's a bunch of thumbs up, they're way to go. So good job, you guys. Our last piece, before we play our last piece, before I introduce it, I do want to direct your attention to, oh, no, I'm sorry, I put it in the program and I took it out. There was a plea for help. I am lucky enough to serve as a part of the Denver Cyclones Booster Club. Now, not just because like I'm a music teacher or anything, I'm actually a board member. And a few years ago, we consolidated. We had music boosters, we had athletic boosters, and the problem that all of our music booster parents were like, boy, it sure is tough because all my kids do sports too. And all the athletic boosters were like, you know, it's not like this everywhere, but all of our athletic kids are also in band. If only there was a way we could work together. So we made it happen, and it's really been really great because it's no more like these kids go here, these kids go here. We're all working together for the same thing. In fact, most of these kids are involved in sports, if not all of them. Our AD recently took a survey of the number of high school kids that were involved. It was all but 3 high school band students that are involved in the sport, and most of them multiple activities. So it's really funny to think about like, oh, you don't really have band kids, choir kids, volleyball kids. You got everybody doing everything. We're so fortunate to be in a position to do that. I mean, we're like just at the right size where we're big enough that we can have some really great things, this for example, and small enough that our kids can still take part in everything. That's one of the great reasons why we have decided to call this our home, and hopefully you too. But we need more people to serve on the board. It could be as simple as just willing to like offer your expertise, show up at monthly meetings and help out where you can. That's totally fine. It could be something like maybe you're like, I've got some ideas and I want to be the president. Well, this is your opportunity actually. Every 3 years we have new board members. And actually, I get to leave. I have 1 more year on my term. But Mrs. Cooper, she like stepped in, so she's doing a term. And our president is done this year. So we're looking for a president. We're looking for concessions, like help with concessions. Our coordinator is still in place, and also members at large. You can help decide where the money goes, and it's a lot of money, so it's kind of fun. If you like spending money that's not yours, this might be for you. And also brainstorming ways that we can like provide kind of an extra opportunity for our students, for our kids. So if you are interested in that, and I hope that you are, please come talk to me. You can send me an email, or you can talk to me after the concert today. We'd love to like have as many people as we want. We can have a packed room for our board meetings, maybe once monthly. Or maybe you just want to be a little more involved in helping out with concessions or doing pickup orders or anything like that. But let me know. It's all of us. I mean, like, I hate to like be High School Musical, but we're all in this together, right? All of our kids do this together. So we want really for them to excel and exceed in everything they do. And they've got some great opportunities through that. So commercial over. But our last piece is called Blue Ridge Reel. And this is inspired by music from the Appalachia area, the Blue Ridge outside of North Carolina. And what you'll hear is kind of just a little bit of hillbilly. And I've got a little bit, I'm not like doing a yeehaw or anything, be careful, but I do recently have purchased a banjo. And I do have a dream, sorry for anybody that lives on my block, to play the banjo and just overall sit on my back porch, just strum the old banjo. If this song doesn't make you want to do that, then something might be wrong. In the back, you're going to hear some fun percussion equipment back there. We've got Alexa Schmidt playing the spoons, although I did not steal any spoons from our kitchen cabinet. She's actually just using drumsticks as the spoons. And a washboard is part of our percussion equipment. And this one you might find yourself tapping your toe. It's from Brian Baldridge's Blue Ridge Reel. The 8th grade portion will start, I think, probably at 7:30.
That sounds right.
I didn't touch anything. What the? What? I didn't touch anything.
Hey, I'm gonna find your overalls for you.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
I didn't touch the light when they turned on.
What's that?
I didn't touch these lights when they turned on.
Oh, I think somebody at there's another wall control somewhere. I want to turn me up a little bit because it doesn't seem very loud. Was the mic not very loud?
I mean, you can hear it, but it wasn't that.
Okay.
What's that? No, we have nothing great. We have a band. The band, the overalls might be
So today I had 41.30. Taxes at 3. So they looked at it
I can play with the lights.
Well, good evening and welcome to the 8th grade portion. This is the 8th grade band that you see in front of you. Tonight, I didn't really do this on purpose, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh my gosh, we're doing March, but I promise you, neither one will sound much like the march, and there are two very different versions. So this first song, March of the Arachnids, is great. I love it. And the kids for a while were really resistant because they were terrible at it. And anytime you're bad at things, it's normal to not like doing it. But eventually, we have really started rocking on this. So this is Randall Standridge's take on a 6/8 march, but it uses the childhood song, The Itsy Bitsy Spider. Imagine, if you will, an army of spiders marching across the floor or wherever. I know it's kind of gross, right? Okay, but it's kind of, so it's set in a minor key. It's a little bit creepy and scary. You'll definitely hear the Itsy Bitsy Spider. And then later he puts it in what normally we would call like the dogfight part of the march. You'll hear another bug-related childhood song. This one is Shoot Fly. And in fact, he even put in like a funny little like swat, like, you know, buzz it a fly. I think it's hilarious. So whenever the kids play it, like I like pretend there's a fly in my ear, and I think they'd just be like, you're so dumb. That's okay. None of them said it out loud. They were very polite and respectful. I just got the eye roll. You know how it goes, like when you think you're funny, but you're not. I get that a lot. So I hope that you enjoy Randall Standridge's March of the Arachnids. Next piece is another composer's odd and unique take on the march form. This one like kind of follows the march form, but not at all in the sound. So I want you to imagine, I really love like Lord of the Rings, you know, those kind of like weird like movies that are totally not set in like in real world, but like they're all full of like monsters and imaginary creatures and everything. So imagine, if you will, that you're seeing all of these like evil creatures slowly marching by. It's really kind of creepy. Brian Ball just said he writes this song based on the interval of a tritone. Now, if you're not a musician, you might be like, great, who cares? Like a tricycle? Kind of, not really. The tritone was for a long time considered the devil's interval. Ooh. Yeah, in fact, it was even outlawed by the church, like back when the church controlled everything. I mean, like Renaissance times. If you're a composer and you wrote music that contained a tritone, you'd be excommunicated from the church, which was a big deal then, right? Because that's like the only place you could go. So you're going to hear definitely some like creepy, spooky sound. This was another one. Oh my gosh, it was so great. The first time we played it, they were like, "This is so dumb. We're never going to get it." And then pretty soon it was like, I mean, it sounds alright. Like, they didn't ever want to like ask me back. I really like the song after I had said like, "Hey, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it." But I think hopefully they do, and I hope that you do too. There are numerous little solos around, so be watching. You'll be able to see them all over the place. I hope you enjoy March Diabolic. so cool, it's like a nightmare or something that like slowly fades away, and then you're like, oh, it's not just a dream, and you wake up and you're like, oh no, it's still right there in my bed. But yeah, one thing that's really great, where I'm like really proud of this group, but the 7th grade also, because normally the 7th and 8th grade combine, because, you know, as it happens, you know, you kind of lose a few every year that you start. I mean, if you look at, like, anything you do that, like, if you look at, like, little kid sports, there's like 1,000 little kids playing soccer, but then the senior class is like 3 seniors, and you're like, hey, way to go. So every year you lose a few kids, but so this is the smallest group in the band, or I mean, in the district right now, the smallest band. And what's crazy is when I thought about telling you just now, like, we had many solos, I was like, well, it's not like anything's really much past the solo, because there's only 2 flutes, and if one's playing flute 1 and one's playing flute 2, the whole thing is solo. So they did a great job, like, so much hard work went into that. So proud of those guys for that. I hope you really enjoyed it. Just kind of like cool, quirky, like this kind of spooky sound. Our next piece tells a story for you about the end of World War II. It's called Moscow 1941. It's by composer Brian Baldages, and actually the same guy that wrote March Diabolic. But Moscow 1941 paints the picture of, obviously, Moscow in 1941. But right at this time, the German army was invading. I think in the score, it said something like they were like just outside of Moscow. And so this Russian army like faced what they thought was certain death. They're like, all right, we got to go defend our homeland. And so you'll hear at the beginning, it's kind of like a bleak sound. It's actually based on a Russian folk song called Meadowlands. And eventually what happens though is they push the German army back, and then, you know, history, like eventually they have won. And so it's now this kind of like bleak resolve of like, all right, if we march to our deaths, then away we go. But it turns into this like kind of like heroic moment. The kids have really liked this one. I do too. I hope that you have a chance to hear some like really great musical moments in this. Maybe like those kinds that like give you goosebumps or make you smile a little bit. We really like this one. I hope you do too. It's our last number, Moscow 1941. High school portion of this, the 9th through 12th grade, will begin promptly at 8 o'clock. If you're leaving, thank you very much for coming tonight. If you're sticking around, I'm glad for it. Thank you very much. Again, I wish the sweet spot was over. It would be a perfect night. We'll take them out and have some ice cream. Thank you all for coming tonight.
Yeah.
said, nothing wrong with that. We should start a petition. I don't know, I haven't heard respect. Fair warning for those in the front. I even fell off of the stage today in practice. So it's like really close. I was like, it was like, whoa, and it's like really close. So if I go down, the band has been instructed, keep playing. I'll be fine. I hope that doesn't happen. This first piece is a very, very famous fanfare. You have probably heard of it before, even if you don't know its title, also Sprach Zarathustra. It was written for a poem by Friedrich Nietzsche. Great, right? But anyway, it's describing the sun rising. I promise you, you've heard this. It is very short though, so it's like a typical fanfare. Don't be surprised you're like, whoa, that's it? And then after that is over, then we will move right into, after a brief pause, right into selections from Aladdin. We hope you enjoyed this. Also, Sprach. Thank you. You know, as we were playing that song, it like just occurred to me that like they should have been 10 days away from leaving for Florida to Disney. Isn't that sad? It's like, oh my gosh, that it really kind of like leads into this next piece that I'd like to introduce. It's called Solus Anye. It's Gaelic for yesterday's joy. And you'll hear, I mean, there's definitely like that kind of like Irish flair. But also, I hope that you'll hear, we talked a lot about, well, I should say we talked. I talked a lot about how, you know, yesterday's joy, you know, when you think about like the joys of yesterday, that sometimes it can be happiness that is mixed with a little bit of sorrow. Maybe mixed with regret or like sadness over those good times that are now over. And I think we can all relate to that. But these guys particularly, there's, you know, I'm thinking about, man, the seniors that are like, oh, their whole, like, for some of them, the only reason they signed up for band is to go to Disney. And now they're like, oh my gosh, all those wasted years that they're full of happy memories. They're, I'm sure, happy memories. Very, very happy memories. But we can all probably relate to a moment like that. You know, I think when you get old, where I'm like, I mean, I feel old, especially when I like see like students of like, my mom had been in band, like, yeah, that's possible. But when you think back on like some of the memories that you had, or maybe that these kids have had, you have like a little bit of twinge of sorrow. So like, what a great chance I had to reflect on like where this group has been in the last 4 or 5, for the seniors for 7 years. You know, there's a lot of joy that has happened with this group, associated with this group, lots of successes, lots of sorrows. And it's okay to like reflect on that, you know, like those seniors that like have been through much and have such a short time left. That there's a little bit of sorrow, because even though we've really enjoyed all the time that we've spent together, we have done some really incredible, wonderful things, it's always sad to see it go. It always is. And I was really fortunate to be talking to one of like our high school band members are also like the basketball team, the bowling team, the track team, the everything. So I was talking to some of our basketball players who this last week had some major disappointment because, you know, the season came to an end, not in the way that they had hoped or expected. And what maturity I heard from them is they said, you know, like, I'm just really grateful for like the trip that it was. It was really a great run. It was a great team. It was awesome. You know, and I hope that you can think that when you look back on your children's like growing up, that we can like think back to the times when they just first brought these horns home and they were terrible. Like, really. And maybe there's like a little bit of, I mean, maybe the joy now is like, oh, thank goodness they don't sound like that anymore. But like, it's kind of fun now that you've been through it. You can think about like, wow, I remember the dog used to just go nuts, or whatever the case is for you. And to now know that like, here they are, making just like this beautiful, incredible music together. So Solus Anye, it's always been something just really like near and dear to me. I've known this song for quite a while. But it's just really incredibly beautiful. I hope that you can hear in it just an immense amount of joy, but maybe tinged with a little bit of sorrow. I encourage you just like spend some time reminiscing. Like, these guys are really wonderful. I'm so glad that I get to work with them. So glad. It's incredible to see. Parents, you gotta be proud. You gotta be proud of these guys because they are just incredible human beings. So grateful to play. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm so grateful to be able to play with them. You know, whenever like you get beaten down with kind of like the mundane or the everyday, it's important to step back and remember like, this is what I do. I can play all day long with really, really awesome people. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Solus Anye. one thing I forgot to mention. I know what you're thinking. In Aladdin, those definitely were plungers. The trumpets and trombones were playing. And it is very risky giving 20 teenage boys plungers in class. But I want you to know that none of them attempted to scale a wall, in my presence at least. They were regular like uses of the plungers. And don't worry, all of them were new. I promise. Or at least, like not used for normal plunging purposes. And thankfully, really especially thanks to Mr. Keeper here, because whenever I have to buy plungers, I feel really embarrassing going through Menards and like buying 20 plungers at a time. That's not a normal purchase. And they always just look at you like, you okay? Like, yes, sir, thanks for the help. I really appreciate it. So Mr. Keeper actually got the employee discount at Norby's for all of the plungers. It had to be him then who had to buy all the plungers. I think he bought just a few each day so that nobody was ever suspected. But our last piece for this evening, well, actually, hold on a second. If you weren't here for the earlier portion, you missed this great commercial why you should be a part of DCBC. DCBC is the Booster Club. And music and athletics have combined, because if you heard me say, all of our kids, do everything. Well, I shouldn't say all of them do everything, but you don't have very many kids that just do one thing, one activity. In fact, most of these people are involved in several other activities outside of band, okay? All of it. And so we thought a few years ago, hey, instead of trying to have music parents do this and athletic parents do this, and why don't we just work together? And that way, we don't have to pick which activity we treasure the most that our kid is in. And it's worked really great. One of the great things about it is that we have collectively pooled together all of our human resources. That's you. And as we look for volunteers to fill concessions, one season is almost done. If you did get a chance to work in the concessions, which you're going to think this is ridiculous, but I really enjoy it. It's really fun. You should show up sometime. One of these band members actually has she I think only signs up when I sign up so that she can make fun of me. Because I will chat up to people and I try to sell them. You're like, hey, you sure you don't need a soda with the drink? And she'll be like, oh my gosh, stop, all the time. It's really, really very humorous. But hey, indoor season or outdoor track, we always need volunteers for that. But we're also looking for people to serve as board members. It could be, there is a specific music chair position that's open, and also president. So if you're like, hey, I got some great ideas, I want to help out, that would be marvelous. We would love your help. You could even just serve a position that's just an at-large, just a board member at-large. Come to meetings, give your advice, help out wherever you can. All together, we all do it together, right? That's why it's so successful. They put so much money into our school, into our program. Plus, I as I travel to other schools, I like seeing how much better our concession stands are than everybody else's. It's a little bit of yeah, it's awesome. Oh, only popcorn and pop, let's do that. But it's really a great thing that we have going in Denver. And if you want to be a part of that great thing, I really encourage it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's such a privilege to be here tonight, to be performing with these guys. It's just incredible. Almost a year to the date since the last time that we performed in this building. So it's been awesome. Just really want to treasure every moment you have with these guys. I wish the sweet spot was open, but not. You're going to have to wait a couple weeks because it'd be a great place to go after this. Our last piece I hope you enjoy. It is a Carl King March called Hosts of Freedom.
Hi, Al. How are you?
Hi.
Good. Hi, Arliss.
How are you doing?
Good. I wanted to thank you for working with the girls. Appreciate that.
Even this one, and I looked up there and I said, I didn't be able to see Allison and tell her I loved her concert, but I got to see her here. But didn't you love watching her in that room? Is that what you're going to do? For a while?
They're hit.
Yes,
Finally hitting
the
the
corner
effects of
it used to be a church.
all the
It's
bad
up
weather
there.
down south with all of that.
Yes, they do. Yeah. The owner of it I know really well. She's in my music organization, but as far as
Downtown,
she has several, you know. But yes, they do, and they do some teaching students like bands and things, and then others teach, you know, so she had planned it. I'm not real sure about the program, you know, how it is. I think I'd ask her. Yeah, she's a really nice gal.
Bob's guitar, he's pretty excited about it.
Was he?
He plays piano, he plays drums.
Yeah. That way, oh, that's so good. What did you say? Did you have to buy a guitar?
We already had one.
You
I had bought one for
Just
Brady.
acoustic?
The plug boundary. It's a auto tune. It's pretty nice.
So we had her come in.
She goes, I don't want you to come in for the first time. Then you've got to pay for it. And we meet and we spend 25 minutes talking.
Yes, yeah, that's a good idea.
We spent about a half hour talking to him. And trying to get us right where I wanted to be.
And what time? The guitar. Okay. And then what kind she wanted, like if she wanted to be in a rock band, or a different rock album, like if she wanted to learn, you know what I mean? Yeah, so.
He asked what she likes. She said mostly country and pop. And so.
The fact that she has drum is such a good background for guitar. You want to play bass guitar someday, or you just want to learn how to play melody too, and see she would know how to read music. So. Yeah.
He goes, I can already start you way farther ahead than somebody that just walked in the guy that I thought.
Okay, good. And McKenna's
She's here. She was just up there playing.
This is what-
I don't know. She talked to us about her ukulele. So maybe we're gonna try that.
But she wants Addison to come home and teach her.
well, you know, in a way, some of that would carry over. You know, I have one, and I just need to practice. I got so I could play fairly decent, and then it just went by the wayside. Too many other things to do. And I would love to know that, you know, since my broken wrist, it's harder for me to get. Yeah, just harder that way. So, but this was so good. And I love being back in the auditorium and being the last thing I remember was that night we were here, we had the art show out there, and the band was here.
They're gonna do that again.
Yeah, good.
What he went like is that we are second shift.
Oh, he's so great. Yeah, I can't wait for that one to do.
That's a good one.
And you guys were the college age, you're younger than a college boy. Is he
See what's up with you.
yeah, so you're gonna have that.
Well, he comes home at like midnight.
I
We get
know.
up and go to work while he's sleeping.
I don't like that stage, and I don't like that stage of life where it's, they're kind of their own boss, and yet you're so in charge.
They're kind of their own
You
boss.
still worry about
But
it.
every day when you finally get together with them, you can tell them everything you did wrong.
Or what's for supper time?
Do you need help with the chairs or good on that? Oh, we were halfway. Are we sitting on the chair?
Oh, that was totally.
What are we doing with the chairs?
Yeah, we can leave them. Dino will clean them up tomorrow.
Right to your chest, you got here. Are you coming back for the chairs tomorrow? Or?
I will either do it in the afternoon or.
George, go.
Hey, looks like I'm already know. Oh, hey, we're still live streaming.
Hi. I'll ask my mom later if she heard me.
Garrett, geez, let's go.
Wave at the camera, you're still live streaming, guys.
What was the one? Tommy, you're a crackhead.